In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an assembly. An assembly is just what does the road look like? Does it have 12-foot lanes, 10-foot lanes, curb and gutter, ditches on the side? This is what an assembly does. We create an assembly of the alignment for what the road looks like. The assembly is going to be an actual cross-section of that road. Now, when you start this project, I want you to go. This is how you need to start the Civil 3D. It has to be in the Civil 3D that's not on the desktop, but not the FDOT, not this one here as it shows on the toolbar at the top. For this in class, you have to use not this one. You have to drill down. Go to Programs, go to Autodesk, go to Autodesk AutoCAD Civil 3D, and go to Civil 3D 2014 Imperial. All right? Again, you have to use the Autodesk program because the reason is, if you look at these tool palettes, I need a specific tool palette that the basic version of Autodesk has. If you use the DOT's tool palettes, they do not have the version that I need to teach in this class. I don't have it updated. So again, you have to come to Start, Civil 3D Imperial, and you'll get the Autodesk Civil 3D. You will not get the Civil 3D FDOT. So again, Programs, Autodesk, Autodesk Civil 3D 2014, Civil 3D 2014 Imperial. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and close that out and start with this program here. What we're going to start with on this one is that it doesn't want to close out. Hold on. All right. What we want to start out here with is looking at our existing profile. The first thing I want to do is remind you how to adjust the profile. Right now, typically surveyors and engineers do not design roads with PVI stations that are at odd stations unless we specifically need a road that's coming in at this intersection or going out. So if this is just a road and there's no intersections that we have to worry about, I'm going to adjust these to make them all have a even station. Now, to adjust the profile, the proposed profile, click on the blue line, that's the proposed profile. Right click, and you're going to edit profile geometry. You can also use the geometry editor up here, but not all versions that you work with are going to be the most up-to-date. So I'm going to show you the old style. Edit profile geometry, and then you're going to come to the third button to the right, and it is the profile grid view. Now I'm going to change the PVI station to 13+00, and I'm going to change this elevation to 125. I'm going to adjust this PVI station to 17+00, and I'm going to change this station to 115. I'm going to change this one to 22+00, and I'm going to change this elevation to 131.5. All right, I'm going to go ahead and keep my curve lengths of 300, 250, and 300. All right, now again, the K values are based on our speed of the road and the length of curve that we need and the grade factor, the change of grade. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. I'm going to close out of this toolbar. Now, I'm going to create an assembly. So you're going to come up here and you're going to create, before you do that, well, you're going to create an assembly. So I'm going to give the assembly name VCD Assembly. Everything else is going to be default. There's different types of assemblies already created. We're going to create our own. And the code set has to do with whether we're looking at the top of the ground, the subgrade, the base, or the bottom of the dirt if we're trying to get cut volumes. We're going to select OK. And then at the bottom it says Create Assembly, Specify a Base Location. I'm just going to pick over here as my base location. It automatically jumps to that area. Now I actually have to create the roadway, what it looks like. It's going to be a 12-foot road with a curb and gutter, and it's going to have daylight points. Now, to be able to draw that, I have to come up to my tool palettes. Right here, this button, right here where it says Tool Palettes, You can also pull this one down here, but I'm going to use this tool palette right here. Now what pops up, and if this is what yours looks like, we have to use the civil. Come over to where it says tool palettes and apply palettes. Click your right mouse button and you're going to change it to say civil imperial sub-assemblies. It needs to be imperial because we are in the English units. When I click on that, you're going to get these different types of lanes, shoulders, medians. This is what we're going to build our road on. So again, if it's already clicked at all palettes and it looks like this, right click in the gray area and select civil imperial sub-assemblies. Now, I'm going to create my 12-foot lane first. So I'm going to click on lanes and I'm going to select the lane super elevation AOR. These are just specific different types of elevation or different types of lane styles. This one's a 2% cross slope at 12 foot wide. So I pick the little red line and it automatically comes up and gives me, this is my 12-foot lane. Now I'm going to create a curb. My curb is just going to be my general urban curb and gutter. You can have valley curbs or sidewalk replacement curbs, but we're going to do the urban curb and gutter general. We're going to select that. Here is something very, very important. You have to zoom in and select the top. Remember when we were talking about codes? Codes are based on where these dots are selected. I'm going to pick the top one. So see how it attaches itself perfectly with the sub-assembly before it. The last assembly that we're going to attach is the daylight. We're going to do daylight general. Now, the daylighting, and again, we have to pick the top. Daylighting means we have to tie back into existing ground. So you're going to daylight. So I've got a proposed assembly, and it has to tie into either the ground that's down below it or tie into the ground that's above it. There's other different types of assemblies that you can add in addition to this, but we're just going to do the basic right now. Okay, now we're not just building one side of the road. I'm going to go ahead and hit escape to get out. We're not just building one side of the road. We have to mirror this to the other side. So it's not a basic mirror command. You're going to select the sub-assembly. You're going to click over here, notice up here on your properties, the mirror button. So I'm going to click mirror, and it's selected where I pick to be mirrored about. I'm going to pick the red line where this is the center line of the road. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out of my tool palette. Now, how do I know this is a 12-foot road? If I click on it and I right click and I go sub-assembly properties, what pops up is the information about that. It tells me right here in the parameters. It is a 12-foot road at a 2% cross slope. It has a depth of 0.08 feet. That means how thick the asphalt is. The pavement depth, the base depth, etc. So the codes that they're using is for the very top, the finished, where we're seeing what the elevation of the ground is when it's done, is the top code. So I'm going to apply and OK. Now, this is our sub-assembly. And I'm going to stop the video here and then I'm going to talk about corridors next.